I was absolutely terrified.
Yes.
I was like, I have no idea. I actually went at the meeting, said, you know what a picture book is? Like,
Ah,
if we're going to do this, it has to be a picture book first. But then I
yeah.
was like, how am I going to put Buddhist teachings inside a picture book story?
Yes.
First and foremost, it had to be a picture book.
Mm.
And then the most terrifying, I said, yes, I would love to do it. But then I went home and I went, oh, what if I've just jumped off a cliff? Because I don't know if I can write to a brief.
Thank you for tuning into Unfiltered Voices. I'm Kelly Nissen, and I'm all about shining a light on the self-publication industry because self-published is never second-rate. Karen Hendriks, welcome to Unfiltered Voices.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You are most welcome. Karen and I have been trying to get this interview off the ground for ages, and if it's, we're both busy and that sort of thing, but we're here now, and that's the main thing. Karen Hendriks is an Australian children's author and a former primary school teacher. There's a lot of us, I think, around, isn't there, that are former primary school teachers. She's known for her hugely successful picture book, Our Shell Harbour, which features her hometown and is beautifully illustrated by Emma Stewart. Karen's heart-driven, imaginative books softly whisper to little hearts, empowering children to believe in themselves and shine in their own special way. Karen has published 6 picture books. Each one of them is an absolutely gorgeous blend of heart and adventure and curiosity and imagination. And I know she has several more books, either just about to be published or in the wings, where pieces that she's working on with her magic style. So Karen, thank you so much for coming on. Now I met you. It would have been like 10 years ago, nearly a decade ago, at the writers' retreat in the Sunshine Coast. Yeah, I was just trying to think what year that was, but it was a long time ago. And I think that was before you'd published anything, or you just had one book published, or it's about to be published or something.
No, nothing published.
Yeah, so I mean, look how far you've come. Like, we all know it takes a long time to get a picture book out there. But can you give us the lowdown, just in brief, of pretty much since then, what's happened with your writing?
So from that, when you met me, I was quite shy, not confident. I was confident to speak to you, but not confident about being a writer or owning being an author. And I tended to be looking outside myself for the answers, not inside myself, if that makes sense. And I thought, oh, I became a teacher again and started a picture book writers and illustrators group and ran that for 3.5 years. But that was me being a teacher again and running around everywhere and sharing what I learned. And it was really wonderful journey, but it was not me getting serious about my writing. And I still had to believe I was a writer. And until I started to believe that, nothing was going to happen. But I had to build my craft too to get that confidence, because it's all well and good to say I'm going to do this. If I'd tried to write and publish Our Shell Harbour back then, it would have been a dismal failure. I didn't have the runs on the board or the know-how. But that book was a pure leap of faith, and it's been the making of me. But also to have other people believe in you before you take that leap is a slow burn and a build, because Jennifer Sharp from Daisy Lane Publishing was believed in me and fully trade published 2 books with me. And they have won awards, but they came out during COVID.
Yes.
COVID was a real killer. And Feathers was a partner published book, and that came out in COVID as well. And that publisher went under because of COVID. So it was a
Yes.
very rocky start. It sort of took the shine off being published,
Yes. Yeah.
and it took all the momentum away and any joy that you could have by having a book launch or anything. So my first real picture book launch, when I finally decided to self-publish, was Our Shell Harbour.
Yes.
It was crazy. The community was really waiting for the book and really excited, and they were lined up down the road. So I was really shocked because I was like, what if the square doesn't work because I'm no good at tech? What am I going to do with all these people? And the books got held up in the port.
Oh, no.
So I didn't know. And all these people, the publishing date for the book was 3/1/24, but people wanted the book before Christmas. Well, there was a ship port strike, and there was no idea of knowing when the books would arrive. They kept saying delayed, delayed, delayed. And they actually made it by day.
Oh, wow.
And all these people wanted the books for Christmas gifts. And I'm going, yeah, yeah, yeah. So unfortunately, I was under a lot of pressure, but then I was very lucky that the books arrived and everything went okay. But it's very, very stressful. But the learning that came from doing that book was a lot. And then unexpectedly, I got some more contracts from submissions from COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were totally unexpected, and they were finally getting through their slush pile. And then that's how Vesper became to be published.
Oh, and Vesper is the most beautiful book. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And so that was nice because it was like, oh, someone else can see the potential in that, not just me.
Yeah. I think, though, it is that, like, whether you're looking to submit to a traditional publisher, or you're, particularly if you're self-publishing, though, you need to have that belief in yourself. And I think, if there are other people who, if they'd had that start that you had with couple of books coming out during COVID and not really gaining any traction, and then the whole hoo-ha with the port strikes and that sort of thing, other people might have given up, but you kept going, as stressful as it was, because of that love. I remember you saying to me once that you just love creating picture books, and that's what keeps you going. So,
and I also knew, sorry to cut you in, this book was needed.
yes.
There was a real need for it. I've had people cry. They can see
Wow.
where they live and show the kids love it. They can see where they live and what they do in a book.
Yep.
We have a lot of young families in our little growing city, and people think Shell Harbour is part of Wollongong, and it's not. It's a small city. It's regional.
Yep.
Not major regional like Wollongong, and we get lumped in. And so
Okay.
to have that recognition in schools, the teachers love it.
Yes.
Kids go, no, we're Shell Harbour. We don't belong in Wollongong.
Yeah. And I think your books probably played a huge part in that pride in your town, your hometown,
Really
because your pride and your love of Shell Harbour comes through in that book. I've never been to Shell Harbour. I will get there one day, and I felt like I was there. You've really captured that with your writings. So I think we talk about catchphrases, and I always ask people to give me a little catchphrase. And you told me that your books are all about being uniquely you and thinking outside the box, no matter how weird it seems. And I think there is that self belief, and you live that, like being uniquely you. Your books very much have your heart in them and a part of you, and you write about stuff that is meaningful for you. And how do you actually do that? Like, I know if you're writing stuff that is personally important to you, it can be hard sometimes to separate that from the actual story. So how do you actually apply? How do you stay uniquely you, but still write something that is going to be commercially successful?
Well, each story is not all of you.
Mm.
It's a certain part of you that
Yep.
comes out. So Go Away Foxy. Foxy was inspired from being a teacher
Mm.
and also learning how to be a team player, but still believing in yourself,
Mm.
own talents, which is what I do as a writer.
Yes.
The bunnies had to do together as a team to outwit the fox.
Mm.
Home was a heart story inspired by my family heritage. That was deeply personal and moving. So that had my family history, that part of me.
Mm.
And then Feathers, I had survived septicemia, and it was like, what if I had gone, what would have been left for my kids at that particular time? And what about kids that do lose a parent? And I taught some that had. So that book came out of that. So even though it has a piece of me in it, that's the driver for the story.
Mm.
So
Yes.
you're not afraid to reveal that because that's you, that's what you're feeling, that's your heart, and that's the message. That's what you to bring out.
Mm.
So, but then trying to work out how to create it is just as hard as having the idea. Our Shell Harbour, I had the idea from when I first started writing and saw the need. I
Mm.
had to believe I could do it, but then I had to work out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that nearly killed me.
Yes.
It nearly killed me, but it made me. And
Yeah.
it could have gone the other way. It could have been a
Mm-hmm.
failure. I really rolled the dice. But I walked around for a year in my head without even putting words on a paper. Every
Mm.
now and then I would think about it. How am I going to write it? How am I going to make a picture book about where I live, a story?
Mm. Yes.
And
Yeah.
then
And
how
it is.
fit it in to 32 pages? Well, I didn't. It's 34. But I had to kill a lot of darlings,
Yes.
but I
Yeah.
still had to make it a story. And in the end, it's an imaginary day, but it covers lots of the main places in Shell
Yes.
Harbour. And it's
Yeah.
sort of like a circular journey around the
Mm.
city. So it worked. But until I worked out how to do the journey around Shell Harbour,
Yeah.
stuck. You
Yes.
have
Yeah.
to problem solve. And then Vespa was inspired by a Flinders University research article
Mm. Yes. Actually, I think I remember you telling this story.
and giving children a remote control to use at bedtime.
Mm.
And then the name Vespa's from a little Shell Harbour girl that I met her mum in the coffee shop when her mum was pregnant.
Oh,
She's
sweet.
now in year 2, but she was born profoundly deaf like her mum. And
Mm.
I said to Sephora, her mum, I'm going to write a picture book and I'm going to use Vespa's name. I promise you. And I did. And
Yeah.
so then it was the hide in that is Vespa, the little girl,
Mm.
and about dreams and trying to take your own power, use your imagination, which again is what we do as writers.
Mm.
Got to take that power and use it. So that's where Vespa came out.
Yeah.
And then the
Are
team
you?
book's a whole nother story.
Oh, yes. And we will, when that comes out, we'll have to jump on again and have a chat about that, because that is like just the whole concept and the collaboration that you have, is like next level. I don't know that anybody else has done that,
They have from
before.
the first in
So
Australia.
yeah, which is, oh my God, amazing. Like shouting that out is really important.
You
So I
know,
can't
when you
wait.
say that, it's funny, but I like just hiding away doing, it's a bit scary for me. I'm a bit
Yeah.
scared.
Actually, I remember you said that when I was at your the launch that you did in Canberra for Vesper Jones, I remember you saying that. I was like, oh my God, this is not me. I don't like being in the pub. I'd rather just sit in the corner and just, sign copies of my book. But the thing is that that this is part of being an author, and
Exactly.
you push yourself as much as you don't like it outside your comfort zone.
Exactly.
But even in that, like your book launches, your public appearances when you're speaking, even now, you are you all the time, like unashamedly you. We're getting the real Karen Hendriks here. We're not
There you
getting
go.
somebody that it's not a facade. This is you. And I think that your ability to do that and just accept yourself is what makes your writing so beautiful and so heartfelt. Anyway, so I think you're very unique in that way, in a beautiful way. Writing, why did you start writing? Was there something in particular or a person that inspired you at the outset, something you've always wanted to do?
Well, I was always good at English at school.
Mm-hmm.
And I started school at 4.5, so I could read at 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know you were even supposed to do homework, but I always got really good grades in English all the way through. And in high school, I got told I could write, and I scored really well without any effort. But I didn't know people like me from a working class background could actually even be a writer, enter into my head at all. And I didn't even know someone like me could be a teacher, actually, from my background. I was like, but they're like professional people and they teach. But I didn't give up on being a teacher because I sort of had it in me that I wanted to help kids because I didn't like school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a runner.
Yeah.
And I was often bored. And so when I became a teacher and I was at the University of Wollongong doing my degree, we had to do an assignment and I couldn't get into the picture book writing course. It filled up too quickly and I missed out. And then I had to do something that I have no talent for. But we had, through language learning 2 or 3, one of the semesters of subjects, we had to write a short story. And Pat Farrow, the lecturer there, had written on my paper and came and found me and he said, Karen, you should write. And I went, me? Write? Like actually write stories? And he said, yeah. Like I thought you just did it for fun.
Yeah.
Then when I was at uni, I got involved in a big book project with Kemblawarra Primary School. It was a voluntary thing. And they were creating a big book that was the retelling of Windang Island. And I just went out and I didn't help with the words. I was helping with the art because I loved art at the time. And I was helping the kids do all the sponge printing.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first, and that's when I thought, oh, I really like picture books. And as a teacher, that's what I used, K26.
Oh, 100%.
All
The
the
picture
time.
books are for everybody.
Oh, they're the best. And you get so much out of them. They were in my toolkit all the time. And so I just started to love them more and more, and kid lit. You fall in love with certain books that stay with you forever. Because my school didn't have a library, and even though my mum encouraged reading, we didn't have a lot of books in the house. We had golden books and stuff, but not, it's not like you'd go and buy a book every week or go to the library every week or anything. So I had it in my head I should write them. And I said to the kids, one day I'm going to write picture books. But that's as far as it was a dream, but it wasn't a belief.
Yes.
And then I got septicemia, and waking up after nearly dying, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, I haven't written my picture books. It was very unconscious. And then I still danced around it for a couple of years because people are like, why would you leave teaching? Blah, blah. And I'm, why wouldn't I leave teaching? There's a time and a place, and when you're ready for the next step.
Absolutely.
And I was, and I finally went, I'm going to be a writer, and everybody thought I was crazy. I had no idea, and I had no one to help me, and I'd just go and sit in coffee shops and just write little stories.
Mm,
How it started.
yeah.
And when I look at what I wrote, I'm thinking I'm writing a picture book, but wasn't it? I had not written anything. And the very first thing I did was an Australian Writers Centre's course, but I was too terrified to even put a word on the page.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
thought, I'll just go and get information and I'll hide in the corner.
Mm,
Well, it was 2 days, and they said, tomorrow you have to bring a story.
yeah. Wow.
And I went, I don't know how to write. This is what I'm here for, is for you to tell me how I'm supposed to. So I had to actually write something and actually share it with the group. And I was shaking. I was so terrified. But then Kathy Tusker at the time, who ran it, what she said about what I wrote was so heartwarming. She could see the heart in it.
Mm, yes.
So that was
Yes.
my first little glimmer. So you've
Yeah.
got to keep going, and it's hard.
Yeah. I think the feedback and support that you get from people right at the outset when you're still finding your way can make or break you as a writer as well. So I think, a lot of it is skill and talent and resilience and persevering, but it's also your community, I think, and the people that you surround yourself with as
And you
well.
and I have managed to tag team along for a long time now, and just seeing your growth is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It's so inspiring.
We all have our things that, we sort of, how we view ourselves versus how other people view us are often quite different because we're really hard on ourselves, right? But
Mm.
I think it's important to realize that, all of us with our experience, no matter what it is, we've got something to
We
offer and something valued, which is going to lead me to my next question. If you could sum up your writing process in one piece of advice that you would share with people who are just starting out, what would that be?
I would say simplify the process for you.
Mm, yeah, I like that.
Because for me, when I started out, I had way more ideas than I do now, but I had
Mm,
my head full of so much stuff. And then I would read and participate in things, and it was like, you should have an ideas book and you should write all these ideas in it. But I just ended up with a drawer full of all these ideas and this mess.
yes.
You'll probably gasp. I threw the lot out
Yeah, I did guess.
because it was too much clutter.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
I get overwhelmed, and I was overwhelming myself. And then you have the idea and you try and do it. And you're trying to follow all these rules,
Yes.
and your head
Yep.
cluttering again.
Yeah.
So
And
at
you,
the moment, my goal at the moment is just simplify.
yeah, yeah. I think too, a lot of us get stuck in that, oh, there's another course. I've got to now do this course because I still have to learn. I still have to learn. Whereas I think to sitting back and actually just writing is you need to do that. At some point, you've got to sit down and put pen to paper.
Yeah, and what I tend to do too, like I'm not creating a new story because I'm editing one,
Mm,
and it's a picture book story. And I've been agonizing over like one spread.
yeah.
And I'm just going to look at that today and look at that spread. That's it.
Yes.
That's simplified.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Without sort of forcing yourself, and I think without beating yourself up because you haven't spent half a day writing.
Because I
It's
can go around and around in circles on one
mm,
word, and then I get myself in knots, and I'm trying to find what it should sound. I know what it feels like, but I don't know how to articulate it.
hmm
And it's really hard with a picture book when you can feel it, but you don't know how to say it. But
mm,
sometimes you do have to show.
yes.
Sometimes you tell. But then
Mm,
you go, I'm telling here, but how do I make it show?
yes.
You can see it, but you don't know how to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of learning for me.
Yeah. I
Every
think,
story is, and then I go back and I go, look, what you've written in that whole spread is all telling.
yeah.
But then I'm looking at it and I'm staring at it and I'm going, but how do I make that show? And
Yes. Yeah. I think too, when I was talking to Suzanne, the gorgeous Suzanne Gervais, the other week, um, she was saying something very similar to you. So what I'm hearing is like, you've published six picture books, you've got others waiting, nearly published, but every book that you write is like starting from scratch.
it is,
And Suzanne said the same thing. Like she said, every time she sits down, she feels like a new writer, like she's never done it before. And I think there needs to be a point where you actually accept that. And some books are going to be really hard to write. Some spreads are going to take weeks and weeks, if not longer, for you to be happy and for you to sort of nail it. But you have to persevere as well. But I think too, like you understand now your process and what you need to go through um, to get where you need to be, and you've got to
right.
work out what works for you.
And also where you can see your growth is it's all new when you're on a story.
Mm,
But if you look at someone else's,
mm,
you can see
yes.
a knowledge, but you can't see it in your own.
Yes, oh, absolutely, absolutely. So it's the same as like I can pick when people are showing and telling in their work, but can I do it in my own? No, I cannot.
Yeah.
So, and
Each
it's just know your limitations too as well. Now, you mentioned to me a while ago that you wanted to talk about books in homes as
yeah,
well.
books in homes, I think it's Australia wide,
Mm,
and it is about getting books into schools that are disadvantaged. But to do that, they need a sponsor, whether it's
mm,
BHP, Main Freight, personal sponsors. Suzanne Gervais sponsors a school.
mm.
I think it's Safala Primary School, and it's
I
only
think
got,
she's mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah, it only has about 10 students. She personally funds that.
Wow.
And what they do is they look for people to be ambassadors, and they'll ask you to, the kids get books,
Hmm.
they choose their own books, and they're gifted to them at a special assembly. So
Wow.
getting the books, they're picked, and they're from very disadvantaged backgrounds, families, whatever.
Mm.
And you're there as an honorary guest to see them get the books and also to role model the importance of books. But the programs become so popular. When I first started, I was doing a lot more assemblies. But now when I see what I want to do, because I'm quite slow getting in my emails or whatever, quite often the school's taken. And I'm like, there were books in homes. I've got to get a school.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of people are joining in, but it's not just authors and illustrators, it's educators, it's librarians,
Mm.
it's people who have a special interest in seeing children get books.
Yeah, that's such an important, and particularly in this day and age,
Mm.
um, as well. It's just, there's just something special about being able to lose yourself in a book. And
It's very, very special to see their little faces. Sometimes you nearly cry. I'm nearly crying to them when they get their books.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
just so excited.
yeah.
It
I
doesn't
think,
matter what they pick,
mm,
because sometimes they've got no idea what they're picking, but they've chosen it. It's so
yes,
empowerment again, and they get to keep that book and take it home and share it, and then they have books in their house.
yes. I love that, just that excitement. Like I grew up in a household, we had a lot of books. So for me, the idea of, and I know there are kids out there who's, for whatever reason, they haven't been read to as children. They don't have books in their house, and I'm like, oh, how can that be? But just to know that this program is acknowledging that, and helping, you know funding or whatever they do for children to actually have those books and to appreciate those books is really special. So, what a wonderful program to be involved with.
It's a
So,
special one. Yeah,
yeah. So, but obviously you need to check your emails more frequently.
I do. I do. And it's rewarding because you're a creator of books. It doesn't matter whether they have access to your books or not, but you're
Yeah.
seeing the impact of a child getting a book. And that's what
Yes.
you're writing for. You're writing for children.
And the more people that get involved, I think the better it is. In a relatively short amount of time, you've done so much. Like, there's obviously the involvement in books in homes. Was it Feathers that was featured on Storytime with Fergie and Friends?
Yep.
You've been shortlisted for multiple times, highly commended for awards. Your Forever Ability Award was which book was that for?
Feathers for
Feathers.
feathers.
That was for Feathers as well. Yep. And you've also won an Able Golden Book Award as well. Home, which out of, like, I love all of your books, but Home is amazing. That
I can tell you something special that might be happening.
Oh yes.
Jennifer, my publisher's thinking of doing a second print run. She just loves that book and that story.
Yes, there is just something really special. And I think the fact that the illustrator of the book is from that region as well is even more special. And I think that was quite deliberate on Jennifer's part, wasn't it? That
It was.
she because it needs to feel authentic. But anyway, Home was listed as a recommended resource by the Refugee Council of Australia. So, just with your books and the short amount of time, you've got those, those acknowledgements, and I mean that must feel wonderful. And then, so I have to ask, so and you've also got that wonderful collaboration with Nantien Temple. What can you tell us?
They are the biggest Buddhist temple in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh.
And a year ago, they contacted me because of my local book and my profile. They contacted me about a picture book and asked if I would come to a meeting. And I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I was like, me? Oh, anyway, I was like, okay. So I went to the meeting and I said, yes, of course, I would love to write a picture book for you. But I was absolutely terrified.
Yes.
I was like, I have no idea. You've never written a picture book. I actually went at the meeting and said, you know what a picture book is? Like, if we're going to do this, it has to be a picture book first. But then I was like, how am I going to put Buddhist teachings inside a picture book story?
Yes.
First and foremost, it had to be a picture book. And then the most terrifying, I said, yes, I would love to do it. But then I went home and I went, oh, what if I've just jumped off a cliff? Because I don't know if I can write to a brief. I've never written to a brief.
No, because you write from the heart, right? So, yeah.
Answer, I just write whatever I call them. How am I going to write to this brief? And then I hadn't got given the brief and I went away off on a tangent, and I went on a writing retreat in Italy and I was that nervous and that anxious. I just created this story from the talk, and I came back and I said, I've already written a draft. And they said, I haven't even given you the brief. And anyway, I said, just have a look at my writing. And they said, oh yeah, that's really good, but now we'll give you the brief. And I tried to write to the brief and they said, oh, but we like the lyrical, poetic feel of the first one. And because I hadn't written to a brief, it didn't have that feel.
Yes.
They said, now you've got to combine the two. And then the journey began.
Yeah.
Working on it all year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel very privileged that I've had a sneak peek at that book. But I can see exactly where you're coming from, because you're right. The way you write is lyrical, and and it flows. And I think it's really, actually, the way you write's really hard to put in words. I think, if I could illustrate, I would illustrate it. It'd be, wispy clouds and flowing breeze and that sort of thing. It just, your writing floats and it sings, and it's just gorgeous. And to try to fit that freedom into a brief, into, a boxed off thing, must have driven you insane.
It did, but the funny thing is, I'd go to a meeting and this went on and we'd be agonizing over one word, and then we're Googling and looking words and we're chatting, and I learnt to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my life, I had to really speak up, because for the book to be the best it could, I had to say, no, I don't think that will work,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't think that will look good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really fit there. And then
Yeah.
I can remember the Venerable saying to me, because we worked on this cave scene for hours and hours, and we'd come back to it all the time and we just couldn't get it. And then one night I thought, one time I'd been in there for 3 hours or something, and went home and I thought, finally, we've got that spread. And then I get an email in the morning and the Venerables fiddled around and changed some things.
Oh.
I've had to as well.
Mm.
And this went on and on like this for so long. But I can remember we were discussing the cave, and the Venerable looked at me and she said, "You're the writer." And I'm like, hey, how would a child feel in the cave right here?
Yeah.
And I said, calm and peaceful. And she kept prodding me, and what else? And what else? And I said, I'm a kid, nothing else.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So she's really made me dig.
Mm.
But then they're very intelligent. They are the smartest people I've ever worked with, and they're so attention to detail.
Mm.
So it was a really good experience, but we both knew bits we wanted to nail, but we had to work out how.
Yes. Like, collaboration is the key there. And that is, like, I know of, other instances where people have been approached or contracted to, write a particular book, and they've just written to the brief and sent it off. But they clearly valued your skill and your expertise as well. So I think that, like, they picked the right person, is what I'm saying, I think.
Thank
So
you.
is there a release date?
The master who created our temple originally came from the sister temple in Taiwan, and
Oh,
it's his 100th anniversary. I'm envisioning the picture book as part of the gift process,
okay.
bringing back some of his remains to go into our temple. It's still a learning process for them and for me, because they want to just use it in schools.
Right.
And it's got a meditation elephant and cushion that goes with it. And the elephant actually plays 12 meditations.
Wow.
And, yeah, because Bodhi's the wise elephant in the story.
Of course, yes.
So when it comes out, it'll have a whole toolkit for teachers to teach in SRE in schools, in primary schools. And I actually, for their 2026 intake, I gave a session on storytelling to those teachers, so they would know how to use a book with
Right.
them. And then, so they'll be using that in their toolkit in school.
Yeah.
But I said to Venerable Zilly, there'll be a demand for the book because it's so beautiful. And so many people are so excited and keep asking me for copies. But I'm not selling the book.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the moment, the temple's not. But I said there will be a demand. So we've just got to see what happens.
It's an amazing, amazing collaboration, an amazing
It's
project.
Emma. Before I went to Europe last year, I had to pick a selection of illustrators for them to send the illustration brief to.
Oh, okay.
And Emma was included. And they were hoping for Emma, I think. But if they felt somebody else would have been better, they would have chosen them. But Emma,
Yes.
perfect choice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so she came like cream, she rose to the top and was chosen.
Yeah. We say that they picked Emma. I think Emma actually does the picking with that by the sounds of it. So I can't wait to see that book.
It's very special.
Congratulations.
Thank
really,
you.
to be handpicked by them for such a special project that's huge. I think that's better than any award that you could receive as well. Now, as far as your books go, obviously your traditionally published books can be found in good bookshops.
Foxy and Home are out of print. Home may come back into print.
I hope so, yes.
Feathers is out of print, but I have some copies through my webpage.
Excellent.
Our Shell Harbour. And Vesper you can get through me or online.
Excellent. So if people go to your website, they can order your books as well. So I don't think people realise picture books have a really, really short shelf life, don't they? So the fact that Jennifer is looking at doing a reprint of Home is fantastic. But I think if you love a picture book and you love it so much that you want to have it, you need to buy it when it's first out, because the odds of it, running out of stock is real.
It is real. It is very real. And if you write and you think about, it's only going to be on the shelf and there's so much competition, you can't write like that. You just write for the story, because yes, there's a new book out all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yes. Yep, exactly. But it is about you being able to tell your story in the way that you want to tell it.
Do know the Temple book is timeless.
Yes, absolutely. So, which is, again, what makes it really special. So people want to connect with you. Where is the best place? Obviously, your website.
I think the best place for me would be on Instagram, Karen Hendriks author, or on LinkedIn.
Yes.
It feeds through to Facebook, but I'm not a big Facebook person.
Yeah. But you're very active on LinkedIn.
Yes.
So I think that's a really good place to go. So thank you so much, Karen, for coming on. We will have you back, but have a wonderful time in Taiwan as well. Actually, by the time this goes to air, you'll be back. So yeah. But I look forward to seeing what you get up to next.
Oh, thank you. I call them story adventures.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think I might need to put that on your heading, story adventures. That'd be brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.